ॐ वाङ् मे मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठितम् आविराविर्मयेधि वेदस्य मणिस्थ श्रुतं मे मा प्रहासि अनेनाधीतेनाहोरात्रान् सन्दधामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्भक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु भक्तारमवतु भक्तारम्। ॐ शान्ति 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 हरिः ॐ। Om. May my mind be accorded with the speech. May my speech be accorded with the mind. O self-effulgent one Brahman, reveal thyself to me. May you both, speech and mind, be the carriers of the highest truth to me. May not all that I have heard depart from me. May I be able to join day and night through this study. I shall utter what is verbally true. I shall utter what is mentally true. May that Brahman protect me. May that Brahman protect the teacher. May that protect me. May that protect the teacher. Om, peace, peace. Peace be unto you all. Good morning. This morning, I am going to speak on a very important subject in spiritual life. Though it is little bit inclined to psychology, but it is extremely important in our spiritual life. That is our Samaskaras. Most of you are familiar with this word, these Samaskaras. Let me start with the effect of Samaskaras. Let me consider that all you are present here are well aware of the techniques of meditation. Your mind is fully concentrated. You can concentrate your mind to the highest extent. And you all are extremely spiritual personality. So there is some kind of auspicious day, and you have planned to meditate throughout the day sincerely. So from the morning, you shut your windows, doors, etc. You have kept your mobile out of your sight with beautiful dim light and incense sticks. You have created the ambience and you sat for meditation. Suddenly, a thought came to your mind. Very critical thought, very bad. What happened 30 years ago in your life? And that came to your mind. And suddenly you tried to suppress that thought, but you were unable to suppress that thought, and ultimately whole your plan and meditation and everything bundled up, shattered. There will be no any productive outcome from that particular day. Why this happened? Suddenly, out of the blue, something come to our mind. Sometimes we will become very happy, sometimes we will become very sad, sometimes we will become very angry, jealous, whatever. So what is the cause of this? The cause of this unforeseen trouble is samaskaras. For our samaskaras, this kind of unforeseen thought or memory come to our conscious level, and we don't have any control over it. It is completely out of our hand. So this is the effect of samaskaras. In our spiritual life, controlling these samaskaras and understand these samaskaras in deeper level is extremely important. Our normal and natural flow of awareness is extremely required for our spiritual life, because when we meditate, we try to concentrate or focus on a particular object, on a particular thought. We narrow down our thought or focus or concentration on a particular thing. And if the flow of awareness on that particular point is not spontaneous and natural, then there will be some interruption in our concentration. And that happens. There are basically two problems we face during our meditation. One, our mind is dragged over in different direction. The secondly, our concentration is not very strong and very focused. So these are, if you can try it, if you try to meditate upon some object, say a lotus or a rose or some anthropomorphic figure, some god or goddesses, say Shiva, Ganesha, Lakshmi, Buddha, Jesus Christ, or whatever. If there you can find two problems. One, you cannot concentrate on that. Your mind will go different direction. And second problem, if you can control your mind going in different direction, if you can concentrate on that particular object, even though you cannot visualize or you cannot concentrate on the object very strongly, you cannot see the whole object very easily. Partially you can see, but it is extremely difficult to visualize the full object in your meditation. So, these are the basically two problems. The dragging down all our minds in different direction is because of our samaskaras. And also, unable to concentrate strongly on a particular point is also because of our samaskaras. So we have to understand our samaskaras very clearly. We have to understand the function and activity of samaskaras. And the third point, how can we reduce our samaskaras? Reduce the power of our samaskaras. These are the three important points. According to the Western psychologist, this interruption of flow of our awareness is because of our impulses, our instinct. They call in different names, drives, complexes, etc. But in Indian philosophy or psychology, only one cause, and that is samaskaras. Just like when a creek is flowing and there is a huge chunk of stone or a sand body, then the flow of water segregated in different channels. It goes in different channels. As a result, the power of this flow reduced, and in different channel mind goes. So mind is also acts in that way. If there is any obstruction of samaskaras, then mind takes different ways, different channels, and it goes in different ways. Different channels means different identification with yourself. So according to Indian philosophy, our mind, our self, is just like a hub of a bicycle wheel. What happens in bicycle wheel? The hub is there and different spokes are there that is connected with the rim. Exactly, our self is the hub, and by our impulses we are connected with our different role play. Role play means we have to play different role in our social life. We are son, we are friend, we are colleague, we are father, we are friend, we are citizen. So we have to play different role in different situation. So the hub is the self. The self is connected with all different role plays. And these different role plays are nothing but the different channels of the one same creek. So this is the problem. That is why we cannot concentrate. So the samaskaras acts as an obstruction to our normal and spontaneous flow of awareness. There are two types of samaskaras. One is called the experience. In Sanskrit, it is called karma bija. Bija means seed, the seed of work, or the experience. And another samaskaras is called vasana or memory. One is experience, another is memory. So whatever we listen, whatever we work, any activity that we do, it obviously creates some impression in our unconscious. Everything. It is, I used to say, it is like a sophisticated gadget, In a sophisticated gadget, you cannot permanently delete everything. It is very difficult to delete permanently everything. So they will give you a list that you have deleted. And the experts, they can browse it again back. So even when, if you delete or forget everything, they will pop up in the recent. And then you can copy it, browse it. Even if you can delete it, you can find it in your trash, delete, what is called? Delete barrel, I don't know what is called, that trash can or something. Picture is there in computer. So you can find it. So our mind is just like a sophisticated gadget. Whatever action we do, any action, thinking is action, looking is action, talking is action, eating is action, sleeping is action. Whatever action we have, everything leaves a permanent mark in our unconscious. And these permanent marks, when sprouts in the conscious level, they did some kind of reaction. This is called the experience. So the sum total of our impressions in unconscious is called samaskaras. So samaskaras are two things. One, samaskaras are the obstruction of our natural flow of awareness. Secondly, samaskaras are the sum total of impressions of our activities in unconscious. This is called samaskaras. Now there are two types of samaskaras. One is experience and another is memory. So samaskaras instigate us to repeat the same work. So when samaskaras sprouts in our conscious level, they instigate us to repeat the same work. That is the problem. Now let me explain what is the experience or karma bija or seeds of work. I have already mentioned the activity we do, it leaves some impression in our unconscious, and when that sprouts, that is called experience, because we did that work. And this sprout is called karmashaya also. This experience, karma bija, the storehouse of karma bija is called karmashaya. All these are based on Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Because in Indian philosophy, there was no psychology. In Western world, there are various psychology books. There is a stream of academic study which is called psychology. But in India, there is no any stream of study which is called psychology. In India, they all study the Western psychology. The Patanjali Yoga Sutra, which is one of the branches of 6 philosophical schools, is the only psychology that India is having. Based on Patanjali Yoga Sutra. So, this is the experience. Now, another thing is there which is called memory or vasana. So, memory or vasana is like this. Let me give you an example. If you handle a beautiful rose, you can find the fragrance of that rose. So that rose leaves some fragrance. And after some time, that fragrance will go. Vasana or memory is just like that. All our activities leaves the impression that will sprout as karma bija or experience. But all our experiences means our pleasure and pain, our happiness and suffering, all these our experiences. All our experiences, they also leave some impression. And when it sprouts to the surface level in consciousness, they are called vasana. So vasanas are the sprouting from our experience of good and bad, experience of happiness and suffering, experience of pleasure and pain, etc. So vasana or memory is the sprouting from our experience. But experience is the sprouting from our activity. This is the difference between these two. Just like a fragrance of flower, memory, take the example. I have tremendous inclination to eat Rasgulla. So always the vasana, the memory of Rasgulla, the memory of pleasure of eating Rasgulla always comes to my mind. And I always feel to eat Rasgulla. But my logical mind suppress that powerfully. No, it is not the time. Why do you want to eat Rasgulla every day? There will be risk of blood sugar. Don't take it. So my logical mind suppress it. Okay, I know that. And slowly, the habit of my eating Rasgulla every day goes. So this is the controlling. Easily we can control our memory. But controlling of experience is extremely difficult. Now, what happens actually? The link. The problem is here. These two things are there, but they link each other. This is the complicated part. Sometimes there are some kind of memory and experience within, and they do not come to our conscious level. Unless the thoughts do not come to our conscious level, we cannot recognize that. So, unconsciously, there is two terms we use, but we are not very much aware of these two terms. One is called suppress. Consciously, we dominate or bring some thoughts down to our unconscious is called suppression. We are doing consciously. Another term is there which is called repression. So the term repression is this. So what we do in repression, the unconscious process, unconscious by the process, press it down. We do not have that. It is called repression. So what we do actually in the form of repression, the operation of emotional drives are excluded from the conscious mind and are kept in check in the unconscious by the process, which is called repression. So, we hardly recognize our emotion. So, emotion, when it comes to our surface level, we can recognize it. But most of the time, we cannot recognize our emotion. It repressed unconsciously. And those emotions which are repressed unconsciously, they will come out in various directions in different ways. As for example, if I am hungry, the main cause is my hunger. But in a social setup, I cannot express, I am hungry. So, instead, I am repressing my hunger, but instead, I am expressing my anger. So, the repression sometimes come out in different form. So, that is repression. And suppression, we are consciously dipping down some thoughts, some emotions. So that is the point. Now, the main problem is this. The memory comes out. When memory comes out, at that time, our experience hooked that. They become one. The memory and experience, they become one. So the sum total is called Samaskaras. This hooking, this interconnection is extremely important to understand. And that is the problem of all our spiritual life. This interconnection. How to separate them? Two important points we have to remember. This is the hooking of instinctual impulses to memory. Our instinctual impulses, that means when memory comes, this instinctual impulses are the experience. When experience hooks our memory, that is the dangerous part. The linking of this karmashaya with vasana, this karma bija with vasana. This is the most bad thing. First comes out memory. I have seen something. Suddenly it comes and we do not have any control. When they will come to our conscious level, we don't know. Out of the blue, it comes to our conscious level. And when it comes to our conscious level as a memory, that is good. If we do not touch it as a fragrance, it will go down. But we do not do that. We give our emotional impulses. We react with that memories. When we react with that memories, it means we are hooking the memory with our impulses, with our experiences. Take the example. I like a puppy. I saw that. And afterwards, after a few days, suddenly the memory of puppy sprouts in our mind, in my mind. And immediately my experience with the puppy, experience means the pleasure and pain and etc., that comes as a memory, it comes. I have a tremendous happiness and pleasure of patting that puppy, and that came to my mind. That pleasure, that experience, that memory. And immediately my action, the action I did, that impressions, that experience, hooks that memory. And immediately, as a result, I want to get that puppy right now. That is the problem of Samaskaras. The whole picture is Samaskaras. So our impulses are connecting with the memory. This hooking of impulses with memory. That is the problematic part. We have to understand. If we do not hook our impulse, our emotional impulses, which is called instinct, if we do not hook it with the memory, there will be no problem. Like a fragrance of flower, it will die down. But we do not do that. Our impulse, instinct, immediately hooks that. If memory comes, immediately we connect it with the emotion. So we have to understand, we have to manage our emotion, we have to manage our memory. These two are completely distinct parts. We have to understand that. By the practice of meditation, we can understand that. By the practice of meditation, we can analyze our within. And we can understand, yes, my impulse is now coming to my surface level. So in this way, we can do that. This is one part. Second is that the first struggle in spiritual life is to break this connection of memories and impulses. And this is what in Indian philosophy is called purification of mind. In Indian philosophy, the separation of impulse with the memories is called purification of mind. Purification of mind is neither ritualistic practice or anything else. In Bhakti path, this is the yoga path. You know, there are 4 yogas, 4 systems in Indian philosophy by which, by following any of them, you can attain the goal. This morning, I am talking about the yoga path. This is the yoga path. But in Bhakti path, what happens? In Bhakti path, when you are completely saturated with the thoughts of gods, so your emotion, your impulses, your instinct is one directed flow, and you can forget everything. Whatever is coming as a memory or experience, impulse in your mind, you are directing that towards the one Godhead. That is the instruction of Sri Ramakrishna. Turn your mind towards God. If jealousy comes to your mind, you become jealous that yes, somebody is extremely devotee of God, I am not. So if ego comes to your mind, direct your ego towards God, that Mirabai, Kabir is the highest sort of devotee. I am not. So direct your emotion and impulses towards God. This is the bhakti path. But the yoga path is this purification of mind. Means the separation of memories or vasana with this karma bija or impulses or instinct. This is called purification of mind. So in purified mind, instinctive impulses do not operate. Memories in the form of pictures and ideas appear, but they are not tied down to impulses. Like white clouds which do not rain but disappear in the blue, these memories disappear after remaining in the field of consciousness for a short while, like the fragrance of a flower. Now, the important part, how to control it, how to manage your samaskaras. We cannot stop our activity, and what we do, the impression must be there. We cannot control by the creation of impression in our unconscious. We cannot control the sprouting out of thoughts or impulses to our conscious mind. We do not have any control over that. So these areas are uncontrollable. So number one, control. One method is to weaken the power of impulses through abstinence, avoidance, withdrawal, and other forms of tapas or austerity. That is one. Very rudiment, but this is the process. Number one. Second is called laws of mass action. In chemistry, there is a theory which is called laws of mass action. The time of reaction between two agents in two chemicals depends upon their mass. If the mass is heavy, the reaction time is quicker. So this is the laws of mass action. Exactly in the same way, in our unconscious, there are bad seeds and good seeds. Whatever we do, if we do bad work, bad activity, the seeds will be bad, the impression will be bad. If we do good things, the impression will be good. So that is why good association, reading good books is very important. So if our impressions are dominated by good thoughts, then the sprouting will be good things. That is the second option. No bad memory, no bad impulse will come sprout to our surface mind, because our unconscious will be dominated by the good thoughts. Feed maximum good impressions in your unconscious. Swami Vivekananda said, what is character? Our character is the sum total of our samaskaras. Samaskaras build the character. What you do, what your impulse is, that is your character. How this impulse come? These impulses come from samaskaras. How samaskaras is built? By our activity. So control your activity and your samaskaras will be changed. So feed good things to your samaskaras. That is the laws of mass action. Second. Third, Patanjali speaks of third method which may be practiced along with other two. This is to change connection between impulse and vasana, memory and experience, by changing the connection between impulse and mental image. So whenever anything comes to our mind, any thought, it comes in two ways. One, in a form. When I think, oh, I shall eat Rasagolla today. When this comes to my mind, it comes in two ways. Number one, the form of Rasagolla. Name and form, these are connected, you know. So it comes in the form. So I am visualizing the form of Rasagolla. And the second is impulse. This impulse is connected with that form, the memory. Memory comes in form and name. So, how to disconnect that? I have mentioned that change the direction. Either change the impulses to other object, or change the name and form to other name and form. As for example, take the example. The Rasagolla, the impulse of Rasagolla. So how can you manage that? Either I have to change the name and form. Impulse will be there. So instead of Rasagolla, let me put the picture and name bitter leaf. So immediately I will find that my impulse and all these vasanas and experience will go. This is method number one. And method B is that change the impulse change the direction of the impulse. Keep Rasagulla. Change your impulse instead of Rasagulla towards chocolate. You can find immediately the urge of your taking Rasagulla will go. This method in Patanjali Yoga Sutra is there. It is called Pratipaksha Bhavana. In Sanskrit, it is called opposite thinking. Pratipaksha Bhavana. Pratipaksha means opposite. Bhavana means thoughts. In Buddhist spiritual practice also, we find this Pratipaksha Bhavana, these opposite thoughts. One of the direct disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, Swami Shivananda, he said this. He said, when in itinerant life, they used to beg alms. So in itinerant life, he said, when I used to live under the tree, then I thought that I am living in the palace in a beautiful bed. And when I used to live in a palace on a beautiful bed at night, I used to think that I am sleeping under a tree on a huge field. This is called Pratipaksha Bhavana. Take another practical example. When you are in a huge party with pomp and decoration and everything, try to think that there are number of people, they cannot eat little bit, they are suffering. So this thought is called Pratipaksha Bhavana, that those thoughts will protect your impulses, separate your impulse with the memory. They cannot generate your vasanas and experiences. So this is the third method. The fourth and higher method is to detach the will. So will is another important aspect in our spiritual life. These impulses are nothing but will. It is coming from within, but actual impulses are the will. So detach the will. So mainly these three, there are others also, but mainly very practical. And another point, 4. That is called auto-suggestion. It is Western method. Auto-suggestion. You can find it, if you can Google it, you can find it, the auto-suggestion. Auto-suggestion is this. You are suggesting yourself. We in our childhood we have heard this story that one person is carrying a goat. He wanted to take that goat to his home and cut it and will eat it, the meat. Now, some other villagers, they wanted to grab that goat. They made a plan. So, in a distance, part by part, they stood and they told that person, "Oh, why are you carrying a dog?" The first person told this guy. Then he said, "It is a goat. I bought this goat and I am taking this." No, it is a dog. Please see, it is a dog. Don't talk like a mad. Then he went. After some time, the second person also said, "Why are you carrying a dog? It is not a dog, it is a goat." No, it is a dog. Then when he came to the fourth person and he said, "Why are you carrying a dog?" Then this guy was completely convinced that it is not a goat, it is a dog. So he threw it. And immediately the others, they caught it. So this is called heterosuggestion. And in Second World War, so Goebbels was there. He said, if you tell 100 lies, that will become the truth. So this is called heterosuggestion. The suggestion is coming from different people. But I am talking about autosuggestion. You are giving suggestion to your own mind. I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this. It has tremendous impact. But when you are giving this autosuggestion to yourself, you have to observe few conditions. Your mind will be calm and quiet, in a meditative mood, and in a deeper way, very strong way, you have to feed this suggestion very deeply in your mind. And you will find a tremendous effect of it. So these are the 4 ways you can control your samaskaras. So the samaskaras are very important aspect. We have understood what is samaskaras, the function of samaskaras in our mind, and how to manage our samaskaras. Do you have any question? Yes, please.
So Swamiji, like you said, if you cut the emotional impulse and the memory, the samskara, in the beginning of the talk you said that the data is still there, right? So if you say that, if you enjoy the rasgulla, then you have the memory of the sweetness and the lightness of it, you still have that data in the background, even if you cut the relationship. Is that correct?
Yes. We cannot delete the data in any way. So instead, what we are doing, first, we are putting the good data more and more, so that the good one is overpowered to the bad. That is number 1. Parallelly, when it comes out in our surface mind, we do not link it. By the process of pratipoksha bhavana, we are separating it. Another good example, the ink pot. Ink pot is another very good example. Anybody of here who knows the ink pot technique? Can you remember ink pot technique? No. So there is an ink pot. Now, this is another example of laws of mass action. So there is an ink pot. Now you want to clean that ink pot, but you do not use the hand. Means you do not clean it in a normal process. How can you clean that ink pot? This is a puzzle. So what you will do, you will put the ink pot under a clear flowing water. From the faucet, pure flowing water is coming, and you put that ink pot under that. And then the black water will come, and then ultimately at one point of time, the ink pot will be cleared completely, and there will be clear water. So what you are doing? What is the bottom line here? The bottom line is here. You are pouring good things so that dark thing will come out ultimately. So feed good things to your unconscious. Yes.
So let's imagine a big pot, there's a dry clump of ink that's stuck, and you could, and tempted sometimes to say, maybe I should, the samskaras come up.
I could understand that. I could understand. No problem. Keep it there. If black water will not come, you have no problem. Let some ink sit there at the bottom. If black water will not come, that means it's stuck there and do not affect in any way. Let it be. Yes.
Two questions. One, can we clear the ink pot in one lifetime? And two, Sri Ramakrishna was talking about Patha Bhakti. Is that because it's easier, and do we have certain tendencies that make us gravitate more towards that, or should we maybe go that path as opposed to the other?
Okay. Your first question, is it possible to bring out the clear water in one life? I would say, whether it will come out in one life or two lives or many lives, no problem. No harm in starting it right now. Forget about the end product. If we do not start it right now, we never and ever go to the end point. So why don't we start right now?
Non-attachment.
Pardon?
Non-attachment.
Non-attachment, yeah, definitely. That is also, but what is the mechanism? Non-attachment is the philosophy. But how can you not attach? That is the point. Because managing our mind is not so easy. It is not in our hand totally. That is what I am saying. Samaskar is not in our hand totally. The second point. There is no harm of practicing everything. Bhakti, this one, what harm is there? Philosophically, you may listen that yes, bhakti is this way, yoga is this way. But while practicing, there is no any contradiction. Feeding good thing in your mind is not the contradictory thing of your bhakti to God. Similarly, when something comes to your mind bad, you can separate it, pratipaksha bhavana. That is not contradictory with your thinking of God, So there are, in Indian philosophy, you can find several food. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, taste everything. Mother cooks so many items for her kids. Try it. Eat fish in a hot curry, eat fish in a sweet chutney, eat fish in soup, in whatever preparation. Try it in different way. Enjoy life in spiritual variety. Yes.
So in layman terms, we know good samskaras and bad samskaras. Eventually, is our goal to have no
Ultimately, definitely, because what will happen if you do not have good samaskaras, then bad samaskara will sprout and drag you towards the bad direction. If every day I want to eat rasagulla, what will happen? I will try to get rasagulla. I shall call somebody, can you please bring rasagulla from sweets of India, from Fremont? Oh Maharaj, I am not going today. Okay, you please buy it and then give that gentleman, he probably is coming today. Like that, no Maharaj, I am not coming. Oh, I request you and you do not bring it. I become angry. So the chain connection is there. Yes.
So today now I'm going to buy this Puma, but question, so in other religious traditions it's very open about what are the good things to do. So in Vedanta, like what are the examples of good things or good thoughts exactly?
What, I could not understand your question
But
properly.
for instance, you said the clear water, right, in the ink pot. So what are the examples of Vedanta?
Oh, what are the good things to do?
Yeah.
From our childhood we have learnt it. Don't tell a lie. Don't take others' things without informing. That is called stealing. Don't steal. Yama, niyama, shama, dhamma, all these are innumerable things. Yes.
Maharaj, you said the good thoughts, bad thoughts. Bad, understand, not good. When you're meditating, should you hook to the good or not? Or not hook at all?
Now, when you are meditating,
So when you're sitting and the thoughts coming out, if it's a bad thought, you should not hook to
no, see, all are coming out, good and bad, okay? So in meditate, see, what is meditation? In meditation, you are trying to concentrate your mind on a particular object. So that means, don't you think that is also you are feeding in your unconscious some particular object? So when you are feeding yourself in a particular thought, that will become dominate. So when you think, that thought will come. So if you try to meditate and japam throughout the day, it is not possible for you. Why? Because when you sit or when you do your spiritual practice, always different things will come. But it is possible. If your unconscious is fully dominated by only one thought, and that is that, then when you sit, that thought will come. So meditation process is this: you are trying to feed that only one thought in your unconscious. Try to fill your unconscious with that one thought. Yes.
Is analogy for the clear water karma yoga. So whenever we have some scar that we notice, we can ask ourselves, what karma did we do?
Please repeat the question.
Is the act of washing the ink pot,
Pure water.
pure water, is that similar to the practice of karma yoga? Is that an analogy for it?
Yes. In Karma Yoga, another factor is there. It is said that Karma Yoga is the purification of thing. But we just now heard that the real purification is the detachment of your impulse from the memory. Okay? So, In Karma Yoga, your impulse is doing the work. Okay? To serve people. That is the impulse. What is the impulse? And what is the object? The object is the work you are doing there. Okay? The people you are serving. This is extremely good. This is the purification. So, no attachment. You are doing that, but the impulse and object is detached. This is number one. Number two, most of the time in Karma Yoga, what happens? The impulse is not directed towards the served people. The impulse misdirected towards the success of your work. So when your impulse misdirected towards the success of your work, that connected to you, the person, then you are thinking your success and failure. When your impulse will connect with success and failure, that is not Karma Yoga. Yes.
Okay, question. So you said that one should be watchful about the fact that when the memory of the object pops up, and then we should make sure that, or we try to make sure that we do not attach the experience with the memory of the object.
Experience as an impulse
As an impulse. But
or instinct.
yeah, my question is, as soon as the memory of the object comes up, usually, as if in a counterpart manner, the experience associated with it automatically comes up.
Right?
So now, when both are in the same playing field, how do you disconnect at that juncture?
That is, I said, 4 steps. That is another process, is the first process I said. Simply observe it. Witness. Everything is coming and going as a wave in your mind. You are the witness. Don't react. So when a thought came, don't jump into it. Don't connect it with your emotion. So immediately what happened? We connect it with our emotion. This is very high level management. This is very high level kind of thing. But this Pratipaksha Bhavana and all this is, you can practice it. Yes.
So in Pratipaksha Bhavana, you said, you gave an example of Rasgulla, and you said that if you are feeling like eating that, I think it's something unpleasant or something so that you won't feel like eating Rasgulla. But that's like a positive thing of like eating Rasgulla. But let's say like if you're feeling super anxious about something, then in Pratipaksha Bhavana, how can you replace? What will be the procedure?
You are anxious about your result in the examination. Take that example. You are extremely anxious of your result in your examination, okay? So your impulses are there towards and the object is the examination. So either change the object. Instead of examination, try to put some other things. Super Bowl. Or direct in other way your impulses. Instead of exam, try to send it to a party or somewhere else. Finish. Immediately that will go. But be careful. When you connect your impulse in the other way, then impulse will connect with that and go ahead with that. But no problem. You can change on. Within 2 change you can find everything will go. Yes, but we have to finish it.
On that note, so if I have an exam and I have anxiety about it, and I replace the anxiety with, the exam's going to go
See,
No one ever did.
see, if you do not study and if you only think and try to separate, disconnect your impulse from the object, it has no meaning. We have to finish at one point.
Just this one last.
Okay.
In the example of the exam, that's a trigger, for anxiety. In the way of witnessing the mind, and you say to yourself, this anxiety is coming from this and it will pass. And is that a way of, that it's the nature of the mind to
See,
have these things that will eventually go away?
the witness is not very easy. Practicing witness attitude is not very easy. Unless you are connected with something, the witness attitude is extremely difficult. It is very high level thing. It is very difficult for ordinary person to simple witness without emotionally connected with anything. It is not possible.
You can't train your mind to do that?
You can train your mind, but it is not a train like a gym. It is not that. Unless you connect with something, our mind, the nature of our mind is always to be connected with something. You cannot vacate your mind, you cannot empty your mind. This emptiness is also a kind of thought. So if you can empty your mind, that is the highest attainment in Buddhism, the shunya.
In the Buddhist idea of the sky being, for us, the sky being the...
Don't switch over from one thought to another thought. Try to stick on one particular system. So the witness is not very easy. That's why you try to connect with something. Okay, as for example, when you are cooking, you are listening some chanting or you are listening some songs, etc. So you are diverting your mind from cooking to that. So what is the result? What is the usefulness of it, utility of it? You cannot find your tiredness or fatigueness while cooking. That is the point. So when you are connected with something, you can make something as a witness. So in this situation, you are witnessing the cooking, but that's all. Okay. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukkham Apnuat Sarvastarotu Durgani Sarvo Bhadrani Pashyatu Sarva Sadbuddhim Apnotu Sarva Sarvatranandatu Durjana Sajjano Bhuyat Sajjana Shantimapnuat Shantamucchete Bandhebhyo Muktaschanyan Vimochayet. May all be happy, may all enjoy good health, may all see happy events, may all be freed from miseries, may all be freed from dangers, may all realize what is good. May all be actuated by noble thoughts. May all rejoice everywhere. May the wicked become virtuous. May the virtuous attain tranquility. May the tranquil be free from bondages. May the freed make others free. May the Supreme Spirit, the presiding deity of all sacred activities, be satisfied. For he being pleased, the whole universe feels satisfied. Om, peace, peace. Peace be unto you all. So please remember, we have the whole day spiritual retreat here on 4th of July. And we have another event 5th of July, only evening in San Ramon. But 4th of July here from 10:30 to 4:30, there will be meditation, there will be different talks, question answer, and then musical, instrumental play, devotional songs, etc. Thank you.